Hello there, and welcome to the Leeds podcast. My name is Dara Cunningham, and I am joined by Rocco Dean.
Hello there.
Hey, Rocco, how are you, my man?
I am good, very good. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks to all these great results Leeds have had. One great result Leeds have had. But we had a bit of a faux pas today, didn't we? So we're a bit late on the pod. Apologies to anyone who's been waiting. Um, James is not around, and Rocco and I both forgot that James is not around. So we were waiting for James to set up the link and to invite us to the pod and do all the difficult parts. And then about 10 past 8, we realised he wasn't coming on.
It's all
So
his fault, though.
apologies.
He had loads of chances to remind us, didn't he? That
He did.
passed
He
up.
did. I
He
had
was trying to
texted.
catch us out.
That's what it was. He was just staying silent. I texted today, said, "Yeah, we're all right for 10 o'clock or for 8 o'clock." And you texted, said, "James, you want me to come on 15 minutes early so I can
Get
if
some
you
tech
can sort
support.
out my what was he? What did you had to fix for you? Your light
My
or something?"
microphone. Yeah. Managed to
So
do my
yeah, so
life
there we go.
myself. Look at me.
You did, and then you told me how to fix mine. So there you go, guys. Thanks very much for bearing with us on that. Look, we'll have a great pod anyway, particularly after the super result against West Ham. So before we get into that, though, let's just talk about the ability to get to away games, and also a lot more than that. So we all know that getting to away games can be really expensive, and you don't want that feeling that you're being overpriced for your trains. And that's why we here at Leeds that are very proud to partner with TrainSplit, the best place to book your train tickets.
And you can get 10% off your rail card with the code Leeds10. And they have been selling like hotcakes because people are so desperate to get get the rail card and get the discounts up to 33% off. Home games as well. I know a hell of a lot of Leeds fans travel from afar. So lots of savings to be made. Get involved.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So if you're heading to an away day, download TrainSplit and save. Use the code LEADS10 to get 10 quid off a digital rail card. Details are at trainsplit.com/lead. And the link will be in the podcast description in this episode on YouTube. So TrainSplit, save money, Leeds 10. And always a great one to do. And as far as we know, Rocco, this promotion is going very well actually, and a lot of our listeners are benefiting from it. TrainSplit are benefiting from it, and it's sort of ironic because we spoke about kind of the price of train tickets and the difficulty, particularly in England, because obviously in Ireland train tickets are a lot less expensive. And obviously from us here at Leeds, that we're obviously very conscious who we partner with, and TrainSplit was a perfect partnership for us.
Especially me. And it's £10 off, you're right, not 10% like I said. I'm a bit rusty.
It all adds up. It all adds up. So, Rocco, let's talk about James Weller. There he is on the screen, his favourite podcast in Harrogate and Dublin. Although he is off somewhere down the countryside, I think. Rocco, we had big changes. Myself and James last week, we missed you. You weren't around, but I certainly was very grumpy about the team that started against Burnley. I felt that Perry and Bial, I nearly matched those two names together there, should have been starting. And I did say that if Farke didn't make changes, that he was going to make a rod for his own back, which I don't like to see because obviously I'm a big Daniel Farke fan. What did you make to those changes?
I was a bit surprised. I was pleased because I think it was probably the right thing. And I don't like noise spreading and, all the upset and furore it would have cost if it had kept the same players out of the team, I suppose, is the point. I don't think it's about keeping Strauch and Darlow in. I think it's, more about giving the new boys a chance. So, yeah, I think it was, I think, like, not brave, but, like, you see so many managers, like, refusing to do what the fans are clamouring for because they don't want to look weak or, they don't want to, I don't know. It seems to sort of just put something on them and give them a mental block. So it was good for him to do that, and also to bring in Tanaka, which I think a lot of people really wanted as well. It sounds like Stack was actually injured, but I think he'd have probably made that change anyway, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it was, for me, it was a little overdue. They're not much overdue. So I have to give credit to Farke for that. But I think it was time. I made the point that, I felt he'd back himself into a corner if he went with Darlow again, because that would make Darlow his number one. And then the only way you can bring Perry in is if Darlow has a stinker. And then can you bring Darlow back in if that doesn't work? So I think he made the right call. I think we can get on to Perry, because I thought he had a great game. At the end, he did everything that was needed of him and certainly put some of my fears to rest. Be all, I think, again in for Stroke. Look, Leeds fans, we love Stroke. Like, I don't think, and I think we have to kind of get out of this mindset that someone being dropped or rested is a really terrible thing. Like, it happens in the Premier League all the time. I mean, that is why you pay 20, 30 million for players in your squad, so that when they need to come in and out, they can. And there's rotation there. And if a player's level drops off even a little bit, on merit, they come out, and a new player goes in, and it's up to them to retain that spot. So I thought Tanaka, yeah, but you're right. I thought Tanaka was probably the biggest call, and a very, very correct call. A home game, a guy who's very comfortable on the ball, a guy who's very harsh on himself as well. We'll talk about him as well and some of his social media posts, because my God, he gives himself a hard time. But the other great one was to see Noah Okafor coming back into the team.
Yeah.
And he had a big impact.
He did, yeah. I think we just look a different team with him on the wing. I think we need him, and I think, yeah, we'll get onto the goals and stuff, but the header he did, great power header, low down, that made the goal. And yeah, no, I just think he looks good. He's dangerous, and he's an outlet, and his link up play down the left with Goodmanson is superb as well. Yeah, I listened last week to what you said. It was interesting about, and I completely agree about the bringing Perry back in now. Like the Burnley game, it was interesting because Farke actually, he mentioned that Perry had only had one training session, so he didn't want to bring him straight back in for the Burnley game. And it reminded me of when I spoke to Casper Ankergren, and he was telling me how annoyed he was when he was happy. He was fine that he'd lost his place to Shane Higgs at the start of the promotion season from League One. But then Higgs got injured. Casper came in, did well. And then Higgs, and he mentioned specifically, he said Higgs had one training session and Grayson put him back in the team, and Ankergren was fuming after that. So very interesting that Farke didn't want to do that. The thing that had pissed Ankergren off that Grayson did, Farke managed to avoid. But it's right, yeah. Like you said, Perry's the number one, and I thought he did well. I think like that one, he reacted well in that early. Was it from the overhead kick where he sort of he parried it down and then he parried it away? And the second bit was very good. The first bit, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a bit of a spill for me, really. I want to see him catching that. I know it came at him at speed, but he responded great. And yeah, apart from that, I think there was one in the second half as well that came across the box. He made a bit of hash of as well. But I'm pretty confident that he looks like he's going to be a solid keeper.
Yeah, I thought he was that was his best game in a Leeds shirt. I mean, we talk about, and certainly his kicking has given plenty of people the heebie-jeebies, but his kicking was spot on. It was really good the other night, and even his passing into, between the lines, between the two centre-backs, as they would split and Ampadu would drop and it go straight into Ampadu. It was crisp, it was sharp. When he went long, he found Dominic Calvert-Lewin to within a couple of feet nearly every time. Saw him chipping one out to Goodmanson as well. I thought, oh, here we go. And Goodmanson actually got his head on it and turned an Okafor. I think that was the one. It might have been for the goal, actually, when Okafor kind of backheeled it into Goodmanson again. So that was really good. I thought that save was spectacular, the second part of it. You're right. He did go to catch it, actually, which is good, because I think it shows the pedigree of a good keeper. I think Meslier doesn't even try to catch that. I think he tries to parry it and get rid of it. But he actually did try and catch it, and yeah, it probably came at him very quickly. It was really well struck, very close in. Yeah. And he couldn't
Tough
quite
conditions
catch
as well, probably.
Say again?
It was a wet night as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Benefit
but if you
of the doubt.
watch the way he dives for the ball, there's an angle from the other end of the pitch, and you can see Rodon is in front of him, and Perry's kind of diving towards the camera. And you see it, he doesn't just parry it, he actually flicks it. Yeah. And he flicks it straight towards Rodon. Yeah. Which I thought was really excellent. Top class piece of defending, or a piece of goalkeeping there. To just have that awareness. There was two West Ham players in front of him, and he just flicked it to Rodon, and Rodon turned on it and actually got us on the attack again. He didn't just boot it. What a class act he is as well. We'll talk about him in a minute. But yeah, you mentioned there we'll get into the goals, but first goal was first couple of minutes, so might as well start there. I mean, good pressure by Leeds, good break. Ball goes into Longstaff. I think it was Ampadu makes the break through the lines. He knocks it into Longstaff. Longstaff tries to flick it to his right onto Aaronson, but Aaronson has just gone ahead of the ball, or made the pass has just gone behind him. Aaronson checks back, plays it into Bogle. Bogle shapes like he's going to kick it onto his left foot. But ironically, as he was, what was happening? I've watched this 100 times. You know me, so I went to look at it. He goes to kick it onto his left foot, but he doesn't actually kick it hard enough. So if you watch, the defender is anticipating he's going to cross it in with his left foot, but because the ball only moves a couple of inches, it's still on his right foot, and that's actually how he gets the angle on it. But what a brilliant cross, looping to the back post. Great desire by Okafor to get in front of his man, because when that cross comes in, he's behind his man. He gets in front of him. Great header down. Thought he should have scored it. It was a really good save. And Brenden Aaronson there, he's been working on his finishing. And Brenden Aaronson is there from 3 yards out to score it. Rocco, what did you think of that one?
I don't know. I just think it was a bad finish, but he got over the line at least. He didn't hit it well, did he?
It was a shocking finish.
It was like
you have to laugh
finish.
Like if you
and
look,
even that one nearly went in as well.
Say again?
It was a bit like the Burnley finish, which almost beat the keeper as well, despite how bad it was. Yeah, this one wasn't great either. But let's give him his dues for being in the right place. I mean, awful defending. My God, West Ham. I mean, absolutely shocking, those goals they gave away. But nevertheless, yeah, Okafor. Like, one of the things I was annoyed about last season was the wingers not getting in the box enough. He seems to always be there. I think he's a striker as well, isn't he? So he's obviously got the instinct. And credit to Calvert-Lewin, I thought. You know, he could have, if he'd have kept going. I think he purposefully held his run so as not to get in the way of the goalkeeper. Looked like that to me anyway. So credit where it's due. Bamford would have just headlessly steamed in and blocked it on the line like he did about 6 times in his Leeds career. So that was good to see as well. But I'm delighted for Aaronson to get the goal. And I think he did have a really, really good game. Sometimes, if he ever doesn't have a bad game, the discussion is always, is it his best ever game for Leeds? But it was a worthy conversation to have because he was superb all night. Oh, I can't hear you. Muted.
How about now?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. Trying to higher up your volume, and I ended up muting myself. Yeah, he for me he was sublime, absolutely sublime. Now again, I'm not completely backtracking on this. One swallow is not a summer make, but he deserves all the credit. And for me, he was my man of the match. Had to laugh at the goal because when you watch it back, particularly from the angle behind the goal, the goalkeeper's left arm. I was watching it again. The goalkeeper's left arm is on the ground. I watch where the position of that hand, because as Aaronson goes to hit the ball, the keeper kind of jumps, moves his left hand up, and it goes directly where his hand was and just goes underneath his arm. Had he just stayed down, Harrison would have missed it. But look, he deserves a bit of luck for his endeavour. We just have to laugh at these things. Look,
yeah.
I think overall he had a cracking game, and I think it's probably worth talking about him now being the goal scorer. There was a bit of skill he did on the right-hand side of the pitch. 3 players around him, really great close control to get out of that situation. And if you want to watch that back again, I don't know what minute it was. I think it was about 28 minutes. Actually, it was 27 minutes and about 55 seconds. So if you want to go back and have a look at that, but watch what Longstaff does. So Longstaff is standing beside him. Aaronson wiggles out between the 3 of them, kind of Rod Wallace against Spurs-esque. And Longstaff claps him. Longstaff gives him a little round of applause on the pitch, as if to say, well done, Brenden, which was class by Longstaff.
Yeah. The run in the second half, I'm afraid I'm going to have to slag him off again because he had to play that into Aaronson. You know, when it hit the bar.
He is Aaronson.
I mean, okay, Harrison then. The other one, he had to play Harrison in there, and that's the sort of. So these are the things, the little thing. Like he had a great game anyway, so it's irrelevant. But like if we don't win that game, I feel like people are on his back again, because like that had to go, and it's one of the reasons that it was like the Aaronson noise thing as well. You know, he'd done so well, and then he had to play that ball. I know it hit the bar, but it was deflected onto the bar, and Harrison was completely in if he'd have just looked up. So yeah, I still think, and I think this is a theme for me really from Friday night. Like, we won, so that's brilliant. But like, I didn't see anything different really than anything all season. I just thought we got the result that we deserved, and you know, other weeks we haven't got the results that we've deserved. I thought the performance was very similar, and you know, I think there's good things and bad things to take out of the game. The best thing is that we won, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch that game and come away thinking like, you know, thinking, oh, now I feel like we're going to be great, we're going to have a good season. I felt like I felt all season really that we're just a good competitive team, and I feel like we'll continue to pick up results as long as certain players don't get crocked.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm probably correct on the Aaronson side of things as well. Like, if that doesn't work out for us, we're back to being on his back. It was a great run though, magnificent piece of skill. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him doing that before. Maybe Palace away back in the Premier League, but like, it was few and far between, and it still is few and far between to see him skill like that. Like, for me, he beat 4 players. I know he got past, he beat 2 of them, and then he powered past another 2. So I give him the 4. Yeah, the shot was a bit weak. It was clearly going straight to the keeper's arms and clipped off the crossbar. But credit to him, because all in all, good defending, good passing. You know, even his weighted pass into Dominic Calvert-Lewin was far improved from Burnley. He was busy all around the pitch. And Stephen Byrne in the comments there, no, he was at the game along with Darren Clark and his son Sam, who was only 4 years old at his first ever Leeds game. Darren from only Leedsboro, so well done to Sam, and congratulations on your first Leeds game, young man. And I said Stephen and Corey were over there. My nephew Richie was over. I think you and James couldn't make it. Both
No,
is. It was a rare occasion for you.
I had to. I managed to catch the last 30 minutes of the commentary on LUTV, which was a shame. And that's actually brings me to a little rant actually, because like the atmosphere sounded great, you know, on the radio or whatever you call it. Listening to it, the atmosphere was just like a Elland Road on a Friday night. Then I watched the game back on Sky. My God, like the way they managed the audio, it's embarrassing. I mean, it just sounded quiet. And obviously they're doing it to protect, you know, listeners from bad language and, you know, anyone that might be offended. But come on, like how many people would be offended by swearing versus how many viewers, you know, your customers that you're giving a much worse experience to? I mean, it's just pathetic. It really annoys me. Anyway.
Yeah, and I don't even have the button for that. We could have made that your Rocco's rant of the week. So we'll have to give it the honorary Rocco's rant of the week.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, actually, just a very interesting comment. So apparently Sean Longstaff, and thanks very much to Mark Barlow for this. Apparently Sean Longstaff was in the Peacock today having a bit of food. You love to see that. You know, it's great to see players. And Longstaff has immersed himself in Leeds since the moment he's gotten there. I mean, he even came to our Creators Cup match, or his family came to our Creators Cup match. And, you know, there's no need for him to do something like that. That's just outright class from the family.
That's why see good football, didn't he?
Yeah, he wants to see you playing centre back. That's what it was, and James at left back, Maldini and Baresi there.
Alan Goodmanson.
Yeah, and Brenden Aaronson here. But yeah, no, that's great to see Longstaff doing that. I'm a big fan of Longstaff. And while we're on it, 23 people in the comments there. If you all hit like and subscribe, that will be fantastic. Roundabout now, just a little reminder there to please like and subscribe. So, Rocco, the next incident that really happened, I mean, we seemed to be all over them from the first minute. We were certainly up for this game. The Burnley game seemed to be a bit of a blip, and we were back to our usual self from this season. And the next thing that happened is Okafor gets the ball, bit of skill, backheels it into Goodmanson, who Somerville allows to run off him. Goodmanson has a cross or a pass blocked, goes out for a corner. Goodmanson then tells the crowd to get up for it, which I just never think Leeds players ever need to do to the Elland Road crowd. But regardless, I'm nitpicking now. Sean Longstaff comes over to take a corner kick. And while we're on Longstaff, whoever thought Longstaff could take corners the way he did? I mean, that was Declan Rice-esque. Like, he just pinged it right in to the exact spot. I bet there was nobody in Newcastle knew he could take photographs. Take corners like that.
I know, it's funny as well, because I think on the last time I was on, I was just saying that he just like lumps it into the middle anyway. But yeah, he's elevated his skill, because that was an absolute corker, wasn't it? Bad defending, obviously, but still the perfect delivery and the perfect header. And yeah, Rodon, like, how many headers did he miss last season? And now he's a goal machine.
Yeah, he really is. Like, part of his game that's improved massively, because obviously he wasn't a goal threat at all. He's scored 2 already this season. He hit the crossbar or the post against Spurs. He's becoming a real danger, and I think part of that is Longstaff as well. He seems to look for him off the corner kicks and free kicks that he puts in the box. And he puts them into an area where Rodon can just go and attack it, because there was another corner kick as well, which I think Rodon was about 12 yards out. He's probably the wrong player to be aiming for, but he still aimed for him, and Rodon did win the header, and he sent it high and wide. But great bit of movement by Rodon, and it was highlighted on it might have been Match of the Day or another thing I was looking at, where they had the 2 centre backs were in a good position actually. Ironically, 2 centre backs one of them was right where Rodon ended up heading the ball, but they ran under the ball. And what I looked back on was, why did they do that? And one thing I was really impressed by, and I urge anyone to go back and have a look at it, was Bligh. So Bial's desire to get onto that header, get onto that cross with a header, was absolutely brilliant. He's being marked, and he shrugs off the guy who's marking him, literally pushes him off him, and he just barrels for the front post, and he jumps up and tries to get the header in. It was just really good desire, but it obviously switched the 2 centre-backs on, that they were like, we got to go to him. So as they push forward to try and get him, the ball goes over all their heads, and there's Rodon with a brilliant header into the bottom corner. And the other thing I'll say before I let you in, Rocco, was the other thing to have a look at, if you're looking at it again, is Tanaka. So Tanaka is absolutely free on the back post in the exact same position he was against Bristol in the last home game of the season last season, which was scored about 10 feet from me. I was sitting like literally 10 feet away from where he put that in on the day. So have a look for that, because I mean, if Rodon doesn't score it, Bligh maybe gets his head on it. If everyone misses it, Tanaka's there in the back post. So horrendous defending from West Ham, but great set piece, great technique, whatever we want to call it. A great set piece from Leeds, from the ball that came in to the 3 players who were available to score it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's great to hear. I'll go back and rewatch that. And I do think it's worth mentioning or highlighting or praising, basically, the fact that we're scoring from set pieces and that we're looking dangerous from set pieces. I think football fans have a tendency to, complain when things are going wrong, and then when things are going right, doesn't really get spoken about. But, we went a long time without being able to score a set piece. And the other thing is that it was a big focus for this season, to be able to capitalise on the height that we've added to the team and to, basically be dangerous from set pieces. And we have it. We've done it. We've completely achieved that. So it's brilliant to see. And it's massively important, isn't it? So long may that continue, as David O'Leary used to say.
Yeah, indeed. And we also have probably other threats on the bench, because obviously Stack is 6'4". Now, rumour has it he's not great in the air, but he's 6'4". They got to mark him. Yeah. So someone's got to do a job on him. So you add him into that team, and I think between Bligh, Rodon, Stack, and Ampadu, we know he can get on a header, and DCL. That's a lot of threats in there. A lot of threats in there from set pieces. And now we have that delivery from Longstaff, which I think was the piece of the pie missing that nobody saw coming. Yeah,
it's a right bonus, that, isn't it? Absolutely. No one mentioned it when we signed him.
No, I don't think anyone even knew about it. Like, how could you possibly? But then for the rest of that half, I don't think West Ham really caused a threat. There was that one overhead kick, and then they kind of caught us off guard. Like, Leeds were all over them. Okafor was playing very well. We'll come to him next. But they had a goal disallowed. Jared Bowen gets down the right wing, skips past inside about 2 or 3 players, I think it was in the end, and then a lovely reverse ball into Paqueta. He backheels it into the path of... He tries to backheel it into the path of Wilson. Bogle comes across and tries to clear it very aggressively. Wilson gets a touch on it, falls straight to Paqueta, and he hammers it into the roof of the net. Luckily for us, he's half a yard offside.
Yeah, I think that's basically it, isn't it? It was just a nice stroke of luck that I think we've deserved. But yeah, I mean, what is he, like about 4 centimetres offside, something. But yeah, them's the rules. So yeah, it's nice to get on the right side of one, which does feel like a change. Great finish, by the way. Like the technique because the ball's travelling at some speed, so to be able to control that and pop it in so effortlessly, because I've never really rated Paqueta, but that was good. That shows why he is a quality player, and fair play to us for keeping him and them. That's a tough. 3 forwards, Bowen and Somerville as well. And then obviously Callum Wilson. Yeah, he's probably one of the less dangerous strikers in the Premier League, but nevertheless still a accomplished Premier League striker with a lot of nous. So it is, although, West Ham seem to be a team in turmoil, it's still a good feat to keep them quiet for so long.
Yeah, no, it really is, because like we take Paqueta and Bowen in a heartbeat tomorrow. And in fact, I actually checked Bowen's age. He's still only 28. Like if they go down, we've got to be in for him. We've got to, throw a hat in the ring for that one, because he is a good player. And you're right, they are in turmoil. Like Nuno has proved he's a good manager, but you look at that team and beyond the front 4, I think they're spent. Like Souček is a player I've always rated ever since that time he used to bully us against Bielsa. It was just his almost Stack-esque. It was just his power and pace and everything about it. He just ran through our midfield. He is a spent force right now.
Yeah, I know. And it's, you've got Wolves at the bottom and what's happening with them, and, a horrible loss today to Burnley. I really wish that would have finished 2-2, but nevertheless, for them to lose again, 2 points, no wins. So them and West Ham, and obviously Forest in a lot of turmoil as well. People just assume that Dyche is going to turn it around, and maybe he will, but maybe he won't, because that chairman's so volatile as well. Who's to say that he won't fall out with Dyche? Anything could happen. So it's hell of a long way to go, but I think the table is taking shape, and there's a few teams at the bottom that we should feel confident that we can finish ahead of. Even Fulham, when we played them, I think we didn't look a worse team than them. So yeah, I think there's reasons to be positive.
No, there certainly is, and especially if we can get our best players onto the pitch. So, I mean, speaking of best players, Okafor, first half, there was obviously a plan to play him for, I'm going to say 60 minutes, because that first half was 60 minutes long.
13 minutes added time was a lot, wasn't it? I mean, that was excessive. Was it? I don't think the stoppages came anywhere close to 13 minutes, but anyway.
You just reminded me of the video of the Leeds fan punching the light when Bielsa got us up, and his wife goes up, Matthew, that's excessive.
Yeah.
But it was 13 minutes was absolutely wild.
Yeah. It feels like dead time. I know like West Ham needed to score, so it was important minutes. But 13 minutes at the end of the first half's painful. Like everyone just surely wants to get in and have their pint.
Yeah, and true. Look, we didn't give them a sniff anyway. In fact, it was us that probably looked more dangerous. I mean, that whole first half, we were cutting them open time and time again. And the key to that was Noah Okafor. I mean, he nearly had a goal himself. But every time he gets the ball and squares up his man one-on-one, you just feel like you believe he's going to go past him. It might not be as effective as Rafinha. Like, Rafinha would get past him and then get clear of his man and make it big. But Okafor definitely gets past him and has him maybe just behind him. So he definitely has massive quality. And I've said it before, we sold Somerville for 25 million. We've bought Okafor for 17. So you have to kind of weigh up the class and quality there, that you're not getting, you're not getting an unbelievable world-class talent. But he certainly looks the part. And everything he did on Friday night was really, really good, looked really, really dangerous, and was very unlucky not to get on the score sheet.
Yeah, definitely. I think defenders are scared of him. I think he can go, both ways as well. He's a box of tricks. Yeah, I think he's a great outlet to have. So to go and sign him, which it felt like a bit out of left field really when we we got him very quickly after we'd played them. So yeah, that's turned out to be a really vital piece of business, especially with the way that the transfer window ended. I mean, imagine if we didn't even get him, it would have been a much stickier situation. So I just hope he's all right. 45 minutes or whatever it was that he played. He's not managed to. He's not looked anywhere close to finishing 90. Yeah, I hope he's not a sick note. Just feels something and then wants to go off. But yeah, benefit of the doubt still, definitely at this stage. Want him on the pitch as much as possible.
Yeah, no, same for me, and I think he adds a dimension that no other player seems to do for us in that regard. I mean, obviously Dan James is, I've been a champion of his. He's my favorite player for a long time, but he's not the same kind of trickiness as Okafor. He's got a different style. He'll go around the outside and he'll look to get crosses in. And I think we have to be realistic with Dan James. I mean, Dan James has become a better player since he's been injured. The fact of the matter is, for the first 3 games, he was very anonymous, and everyone was saying we needed to sign a new right winger. Now, again, I think that's premature as well. You got to stick with Dan James, and I do think he'll have a good season by the time we've gotten to the end of it. But he's got a bit of improving there to do, and a bit something to prove this season, because so far he hasn't really done much, although it is my contention that I think he's been carrying some sort of a niggle, because he just hasn't been running the same way this season as he did last season. And
he's got a few weeks though now, doesn't he? So he'll have exactly. Aaronson's place is assured for Brighton, and then it's Forest, isn't it? And then it's the international break. So he's almost got like 4 weeks to sort of get fully up to speed. Increase his minutes off the bench, and then hopefully really hit the ground running for what's going to be a very difficult December.
Yeah, and we are going to need him for that run in, and we're going to need him back up to his best. Because to be fair, when he's at that level, we know that he's going to be absolutely fine. That concluded the first half. So look, for me, we were absolutely all over them. We seemed to cut them open almost at will. Yeah, it wasn't kind of very clean cut, obvious chances, but I think anytime we needed to get in behind them, we did. And there was plenty of chances there. And for me, it was just do more of the same. We could win this 3-4-5. Came out in the second half, and we seemed to have a different tactic for the second half, which seemed to be back to letting the opposition have the ball and then trying to hit them on the break. But we didn't prove to be very effective on that break, and we were defending quite deep. Rocco, what did you think of the second half?
Yeah, I think we'll have a different opinion, really. I mean, I understand it, and as well, I think everyone understands it. Whether it was the right thing or not, it's hard to say. I mean, it works because we got the win. But yeah, I don't know. And I think we saw it in the Championship as well. Farke he has this tendency. We would go 2-0 up early against Plymouth or whoever it may be, and then we take our foot off the gas. I think it's a different thing in the Premier League, really. In the Championship, we were just basically not going hell for leather and just keeping the ball and easing to the line. Obviously, in the Premier League, it's different. But it's hard to say, because if we keep trying to do the same thing and we get caught on the counter attack, he's going to get hanged for being naive. What are you doing? You're 2-0 up and we concede on the counter attack. It's So I think you're sort of damned if you you can find a criticism either way. So I'm on the fence with it. But yeah, what are you saying?
I don't like it. No, I'm going to be honest. I don't like it. I think it was fine in the Championship, and I saw it a good few times. I actually saw a very good example of it where we had Norwich at home the season before last. Bamford scored a goal from a Dan James cross, And then we just decided to defend for the last 45 minutes, and they never laid a glove on us. Every cross they put in, Rodon headed it out. We had total control in midfield. Yeah, we gave them the ball, but they were no danger. My issue with that is that that's Adam Ida and whoever else was playing up front for Norwich, who I don't know. In the Premier League, I think that's a very dangerous tactic. To do that for that long, I think you can park the bus and you can sit deep for 20 minutes maximum. But I think anything longer than that, you're kind of asking for trouble, and particularly if it's unnecessary, because West Ham were awful, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not into this kind of we only won because West Ham are crap stuff. West Ham are an established Premier League team, and we have to go out there and beat them. But on the day, I just felt they were get atable, and I thought we had the beating of them. So I think the idea of sitting back so deep, offering nothing going forward, and then just trying to defend for 45 minutes in the Premier League, I think that's almost naive, to be honest. Because as you said, Wilson, Bowen, Paquetá, and Somerville, like, you're taking a big gamble, giving them a lot of the ball and expecting them not to score a goal, which they didn't, to be fair. And, the sub came on and scored. But yeah, I didn't like it, and I actually even said in our group, I can see why some fans struggle to warm to Farke, because we were so comfortable at 2-0. We could have continued in a similar, like maybe even a little bit more defensive, maybe tell Longstaff not to go forward, but keep the rest. And we could have still had some sort of momentum. Maybe it still finishes 2-0, but we're comfortable. Maybe it finishes 3-1. I don't know. But I think that when we just sit back to that for 45 minutes, it's difficult to watch. It's difficult to get behind. It feels unnecessary. And by the end of it, you're kind of left with a sense of relief over the win instead of a sense of jubilation, which is what we should have had, because we were by far the better team.
Yeah. And, that would be my preference as well. Being the Bielsa man that I am, I just want to see us, absolutely going for it. But fair play. I accept it. I wouldn't criticize it, but definitely see where you're coming from. Yeah, 100%. And at the end of the day, if they had scored earlier, who knows how that game goes? Not fortunately, but yeah, they only scored with. Well, I suppose we were fortunate that he played 13 minutes in the first half, and then I was very surprised to see only 4. I know there wasn't that many stoppages in the second half, but yeah, 4 minutes was very kind by a weird referee. My God, we've not talked about the Ampadu thing, where he hits Ampadu in the face and then he makes him go off for 30 seconds, even though he didn't get any treatment. Like, that is not the rules. What is going on? And like everyone, the whole Leeds contingent was like, what is the referee playing at here? I mean, it was as if he was punishing Ampadu for pretending to be hurt, which I think he was. But my God, you can't referee like that. They're not the rules. Everyone knows that, surely.
Well, he seemed to not know that rule at all, because he told Gudmundsson to go off as well when he hadn't gotten any treatment either. And that ended up in a row between Gudmundsson and Ampadu, because Ampadu was going, "You're not going off." You could see him tell them, "You're not going anywhere. You're not walking off the pitch."
Yeah.
So yeah, the ref kind of lost control of it in that vein. I think the players kind of helped them out in that they didn't allow it to descend into anarchy. Like, they didn't go flying into tackles. Yeah. But I think had they done, I think he'd lost complete control of it. I'm just looking at the comments here. Easy B here saying that we were very fortunate. I have to say I disagree with that. I think in the end it was okay. It's not as if we coughed up big chances that they missed, so I don't know if we were very fortunate to get away with it, but it's just not a tactic that I enjoy. And I think against even slightly better team, we might come up a cropper. But to be fair, I think it's probably a bit of an exaggeration to say we were very fortunate, because they didn't have any other chances that I can remember to bring it close to an equaliser. But a few other performances maybe to pick out before we go. Anyone you'd like to give a mention to? I thought Dominic Calvert-Lewin was very good myself. Very hard working. Won a lot of headers, a lot of flick-ons. Particularly in the first half. Obviously in the second half he still won them, but they didn't go to anyone because there was no one around him.
Yeah, especially I thought it was superb. And Yeah, you look at the signings that we've made, Calvert-Lewin, Okafor, but certainly Calvert-Lewin, Goodmanson, and Longstaff, they have come in and look immediately like Premier League players. Okafor as well, I think, is a very good signing. So, there's only two really where the jury's still out, and that's the two that haven't played really. And to be completely honest, like Biol has got very positive reviews, but the jury's out for me. I felt he looked clumsy at times, not particularly comfortable, but could be rusty. Obviously not played much, getting up to speed. Like a lot of centre backs, do need a bit of time to settle in and gel. I thought it was interesting that Farke mentioned that he's been looking more confident in training as a reason as to why he came in. Maybe he was struggling at first in training and not fully on it. I don't know. I think I'm a stroke man at the moment, but I'd be delighted to be completely turned around on the matter.
Well, I'm glad you're a stroke man at the moment.
Glad he's not playing with cock.
We don't need to know what you get up to on a Saturday night, Rocco. I thought Biol was excellent. I really did. The reason I laughed, by the way, when you said about Farke saying that he looked more confident in training and that's why he came in, was Farke always comes up with this nonsense when he brings a player in, when he changes something. Like, remember when he changed Georgie? And he's went, oh yeah, he suddenly learned how to become a 10. Yeah. It's like, no, we've been telling you for months he can play there. Like, nothing's changed. So yeah, he always feels like he needs to come up with an excuse of, oh yeah, this week this player did this and that's why I'm picking him. So, Daniel, it's okay. You're the manager. You didn't pick him because you want to, and this week you do. That's fine. No, I thought Biol was really good. Obviously a lot of eyes on him. And I spent a lot of time watching him. I thought his heading was superb, absolutely superb. Not only winning headers, but he hit what must have been a 35-yard pass header to Brenden Aaronson at one stage. They lumped it forward, and you can see it as the ball's coming down to him. You see him looking over, and he's checking out the picture of who they headed to. And then as the ball comes to me, whack! And he absolutely pings it onto Aaronson's chest from about 35, 40 yards. It was brilliant. So no, I thought he was very good. I thought he looked quite commanding, really strong, really aggressive. I enjoyed his battle with Callum Wilson. Enjoyed his desire to try and get on the end of that corner that Rodon scored from. I think we've got a good signing there. Look, again, 16, 17 million. He's not Franco Baresi, but I think he looks like a very, very good player. And sticking with the new players that we got a chance to look at, one player I want to mention is James Justin.
Yeah,
how brilliant. Good was he when he came on?
Yeah, I'm annoyed that I forgot to mention him when I was reeling off the new signings, and he was brilliant. I was so impressed. He was absolutely fantastic, and didn't really miss Goodmanson, which is as high a praise as you can get from me. I thought it was excellent. Yeah, really happy to see that, because it's vital that he is good enough, because we don't, we've basically got three fullbacks in my head. So, if we've got someone who's good enough to come in either on the right or the left, that's absolutely brilliant. Really, really happy with that. Probably the biggest positive of the night for me, actually, was James Justin.
Yeah, it could well have been. To know that we can rely on him to that level and that standard in a really important match against a top player like Jared Bowen, I think has filled me with confidence. It wasn't just his ability to win the ball. He picked up a yellow card from a tackle, nice and aggressive in the tackle, good pass and left foot, right foot, very switch on. It was his experience was brilliant. There was one bit after they'd scored, and they had one final attack, and the ball goes looping up in the air on the right hand side, in the right back position. You look across, you think it was Bogo, but it was Justin. And you can see him looking around. He sees the player behind him, and he just plants his feet and puts his elbows out. And of course, the player comes in behind him, and as soon as he feels the contact, he's down like a sack of potatoes. Luke Ayling, flop style. And of course, the referee blows the whistle and gives us a free kick, and it's under pressure. And I just thought that was brilliant by him, showing all that experience. So I have to laugh at the Leicester fans who are saying, he was crap and he was this and that. He was brilliant. I think really good signing from us to have that as a support act.
Definitely, yeah. One thing as well to nitpick at. Well, is it nitpicking? But like Farke said afterwards that we'd given that extra 2% and got over the line, which we did. But again, I mean, we switched off in the last minute and conceded a terrible, terrible goal. And I think that again was probably one of the reasons, or the main reason, like Biel was lost really. I think he was distracted by a run into the channel, near the fullback, which is fair enough. But the whole thing, I mean, Ampadu as well, just switched off. Left the guy completely free in the middle. I didn't blame Rodon at all. I think it was Ampadu, and would have preferred it, Biel to be better positioned. But that's a bit of a worry to not being able to see out the clean sheet. It was a bad mistake, and we're making. Doing it at least once a game, aren't we? So we do need to tighten up on that. That isn't good enough. That's something that needs focus. Shouldn't really be brushed over.
Yeah, and it's becoming a trend. I said this the other day that the trend of conceding late goals should not be brushed over. That we scored a lot of late goals last season, and that was down to good fitness and perseverance. So to concede goals in the last minute is probably the opposite, and we have to look out for that. The only one I can give a little bit of credence for this week, or a little bit of leeway for this week, should I say, would be that Farke did reference in his post-match interview that there was a lot of illness in that team, and players did look leggy. So perhaps we can put it down to that one for the last, whatever it was, 91st, 92nd minute. That bug going around certainly wouldn't have helped, as Mr. Whitesnake says. They're a great band, by the way. So yeah, that was for me. That was that. But yeah, as mentioned, Bournemouth, Spurs, Fulham, Burnley.
Yeah,
a lot of late goals conceded there as well. We have to watch out for.
What did you think of Somerville's reception?
You know what?
Were you pleased that he got booed? Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the opposite one. I don't get it. I don't get why he got booed. For me, I'll give you my side first. So, for me, Somerville didn't throw his toys out of pram. He stuck with us in the championship. He did the opposite to what Willie Gnonto did. He said, "No, I'm definitely staying. I want to play every week, and I want to establish myself." He did. I think had we gone up, he'd have stayed. We didn't. We knew he had to go. He was championship player of the season. He went for the maximum he could have gone for, which was his buyout clause. I've just got no issue with him, and I never thought he was going to stay. Like, for me, I was thinking about this earlier. He's a footballer who played for Leeds. He was never a Leeds United player, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, for me, Rodon is a Leeds. Yeah, Rodon's a Leeds United player. Like, you can tell he loves being at Leeds. But you knew Somerville was... He was at Leeds and might as well have been at any other club. It made no difference to him. He's a footballer and he's there for himself. I kind of get it. But while he was here, he did a good job for us. So, yeah, I kind of just didn't get it.
Yeah, I would have booed him if I was there. And I think it was necessary. I think we needed to put the willies up them, and the players as well. The players were getting stuck into him, like they did with Tyler Adams as well. I think that sort of sets the tone, and I've no doubt. I reckon that Farke told them to get stuck into him and make sure he has a really uncomfortable night, and to couple that with the fans. I think it was important, and yeah, I'm saying this, but then when we played Villa and Snodgrass got booed, I was disgusted. So I think you have to do something really special at Leeds, and Somerville, 90% of a good season, and then went missing when we really needed him at the end, and then jumped ship straight away. I think, even though we probably sold him, he probably didn't even have that much choice. We probably wanted him to leave, blah, 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 all the professional stuff, all the the money that you can't turn down. We all understand it, but yeah, I was quite happy that he got booed. And then similarly, he did get a fair few claps on the way out. So I think that was pretty much perfect. I was proud of the Leeds fans. I was happy with that.
Yeah, as I say, I was surprised by it, and I don't get it, but I also don't care. He doesn't play for Leeds. I don't care. Boo him, don't boo him. I really don't care.
I'll be. I don't know if Rutter will get booed next week. Obviously, it's away. But I don't know. I think I'd be surprised if he got many boos when he comes back to Elland Road.
See, the thing
we'll
is, I'd be
see.
more happy to boo him. Because he was like Mr. Leeds United, you know what I mean? And then the first chance he gets to leave, he's gone. And look, it was the right career move, don't get me wrong. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I blame Daniel Farke for that. Because he had the best squad in the league and he finished third and then didn't get up in the playoffs. So we should have gone up that season and been able to keep Archie Gray and Ruter and Somerville.
Yeah.
It was our own fault. It was a mistake of our own making not keeping those players. So, but
God,
for
they'd
me,
be good to have in the
Mr.
squad, wouldn't they? Them three. Can you imagine if we had them now?
Certainly would
We'd
help,
be in
wouldn't
no
it?
danger.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of danger, actually, and it's probably worth mentioning now before we wrap up, but Sunderland, Leeds, Burnley, all doing well. I said it before the season started that I felt that this was a season that the Premier League was in for a rude awakening, that they had become very complacent over the last 2 seasons with teams coming up from the Championship showing absolutely no ambition, buying no players, playing crap, and then going straight back down again. Ipswich accepted, perhaps they gave it a bit of a go, but not a full go. And we see it now. You know, Sunderland second in the league as of this morning. Another great win over Chelsea. As much as I want to begrudge them, I can't. You know, they've done well. We're doing well ourselves. We have 11 points. We probably should have 15, which will put us up into the top 6. Burnley have got another win today. They look like they're doing quite well. I'd love it. I'd love a situation where we all 3 stay up. I only care if we stay up, but I'd love to see a situation where all 3 stay up. But yeah, Rocco, what do you make to this Premier League and the 3 promoted teams?
I know, and then you've got like the plucky teams like Man U as well up in the top half of the season with their nosebleeds. Absolute turn up for the books, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Like, so I said at the end of last season, you know, it's not going to keep happening. Like the 3 promoted teams can't keep going down. But at the back of my head, you know, I can understand if that did become the case because of the chasm that's grown. So I think it's, you know, massively important for English football that the promoted teams can compete. And so, yeah, long may that continue as well. And then also looking down at the Championship, I mean, it's just so typical Leeds, isn't it? Like the 2 years we were there, the relegated teams, like pushing 100 plus, like they're like tracking to get like over 100 points nearly all season, both seasons. And then we get up and the relegated teams are like just shite. Like they're all in the bottom half of the table, like can't buy a win. Southampton 1 win in 11 and Leicester like mid-table and whoever the other team is aren't doing particularly well either. Yeah, it's just mad, but brilliant. Yeah, that's what we needed to happen. And yeah, football can't be so clinical as to just be decided by bank rolls all the time.
Yeah, yeah, but it's nice to see the Premier League getting a bit of a shake-up from 3 clubs who have decided that they're not just going to lie there and take a beating for 9 months and then go back down with their parachute payments.
Definitely.
And yeah, we're leaving a few bloody noses on a few very well-established Premier League teams who, through either poor management or poor ownership, have just become extremely complacent and are below bang average.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, even up to Fulham, who, you know, we thought at the start of the season were a good side. You know, they weren't. They're bang average at best.
Yeah. That's it. And like Everton are 14th now. We're not far from them. You know, there are teams to be got at, and we need to target being better than, you know, when Bielsa was in his first season, like he would never ever give a prediction or like a target. But I remember him saying being the 4th worst team is not the target. So like we need to do the same. Like we need to be, you know, the target needs to really be mid-table. You know, that's what you're looking to do. So bring it on. It can be done.
And actually on Everton, I feel Everton are a poor side with one very, very good player in Jack Grealish who makes things happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
well organised, but not much else.
Yeah, Moyes-esque.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, Rocco, I think we'll wrap it up unless you have anything else. Any rants you'd like to go on?
No, all good, thanks. I think we've coped well without our leader. Well done, Dara, again.
All down to good work and great communication today from the three of us.
Well organised.
Particularly James, who's I'm sure watching along. And despite the numerous prompts from myself and Rocco, did not take the bait and say, I will not be on the pod tonight, lads. Just a reminder. So we're actually collectively coming together to take no responsibility and to blame James.
Perfect.
That's the way it should be. On that note, Leeds fans, thanks very much for joining us tonight. Thanks for all your comments in the comment section. Please do like and subscribe. And we'll see you all again next week. This usual spot of Sunday 8 p.m. is what we're going for. So put it in your diaries and join us every week. If not, enjoy the podcast on rewatch. Thanks very much, folks. Marching on together.